Welcome back to RF Coins. Today we're diving deep into one of the most coins hiding in plain sight, the 1978 D. Lincoln penny. Yes, that small copper beauty with liberty proudly stamped beside Abraham Lincoln's portrait, a coin you might have in your change right now, but one that could be worth far, far more than a single cent. Let's go on a fascinating journey through history, rarity, errors, and today's market value of the 1978 D. penny. A coin that's capturing the attention of collectors and investors all across the USA and beyond. So grab your coin jars, your magnifying glass, and let's uncover the secret value that could be sitting right in your pocket, because this is RF Coins, where small change turns into big discoveries. The story of the 1978 D. Lincoln penny begins at the Denver Mint, where over 4.28 billion pennies were struck that year. The D. mint mark under the date stands for Denver, and while billions were made, only a fraction have survived in perfect condition, the kind of pristine coins that collectors go crazy for today. Most 1978 D. pennies have been through decades of circulation, tossed in pockets, drawers, and jars, their original red copper shine faded to brown. But the few that survived in mint state red condition are the true gems of the coin world, shining bright with historical and financial value. This coin, designed by Victor David Brenner, carries the same iconic design we've loved since 1909, Lincoln's right-facing profile with the word "Liberty" beside him, and the famous motto, "In God We Trust," arching above. The reverse, with the majestic Lincoln Memorial, symbolizes American strength and unity. But the real story today is how this little 1978 D. penny went from being a simple cent in your hand to being worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars depending on its condition, color, and errors. In circulated condition, most 1978 D. pennies are worth between 1 and 5 cents, not much to get excited about. But in uncirculated grades, the story changes completely. A flawless MS-65 red example can sell for $25 to $50. If you step into the ultra-high grades, like MS-67 or higher, the value skyrockets into hundreds of dollars. And if you're lucky enough to find a penny with a unique minting error, a double die, off-center strike, or die cracks, you could be holding a small fortune. Collectors have paid up to $898,959 for exceptionally rare and flawless 1978 D. Lincoln cents. That's right, a coin once worth 1 cent now commanding nearly $900,000. While that's an extreme case, it shows just how much potential is hidden in these small copper coins. Rarity, condition, and uniqueness drive the market, and the 1978 D. penny checks all three boxes in certain cases. Let's talk about errors, the fascinating part of coin collecting that can turn a regular penny into a treasure. Some of the most sought-after 1978 D. errors include double die obverse, where Lincoln's features, letters, or the date appear doubled, off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and repunched mint marks, RPM, where the D was struck more than once. These varieties are rare, and collectors pay thousands of dollars for the right one. If you find a 1978 D. penny with a clear doubling of Liberty or the date, get it graded immediately. A certified coin with a strong double die can fetch thousands depending on clarity and preservation. Even minor die chips or cracks can bring $50 to $200 to the right collector. Now let's talk about what makes this coin historically special. By 1978, the U.S. Mint was still striking pennies in 95% copper and 5% zinc, just before the Great Composition Change of 1982 when copper prices skyrocketed. That means your 1978 D. penny isn't just collectible, it's made of real copper, a metal that itself has value. With copper prices rising over the years, even the melt value of older pennies has increased, making these coins both collectible and materially valuable. But it's not just about the metal, it's about the story. The 1970s were a transitional time for American coinage and the economy. Inflation was rising, metal costs were changing, and the mint was preparing for a big shift. The 1978 D. penny represents the end of an era, the final stretch of true copper cents before modern alloys took over. For collectors, that historical context makes these coins even more desirable. Now, let's look at what the market says today. On major auction sites and grading services like PCGS and NGC, top-graded examples of 1978 D pennies continue to rise in value year after year. In 2023 and 2024, several high-grade specimens sold for over $2,000 to $3,500, and the trend continues as more collectors recognize the beauty and importance of late 1970s Lincoln cents. These coins are no longer overlooked. They're becoming highlights in many penny collections. The market for U.S. Lincoln pennies has been booming. Collectors are now chasing earlier and later dates alike, filling in their albums, and hunting for condition rarities. That's why even a single MS-66 red 1978 D penny, once seen as common, can command premium prices today. The better the color, the sharper the strike, the higher the grade, the bigger the payout. So, what should you look for in your 1978 D penny? Here's what matters: a full red copper color, bright, original luster with no spotting or discoloration, sharp, bold details in Lincoln's hair and the lettering. A clean surface with no scratches or nicks. A clear, centered D mint mark under the date. If your coin has all of these traits, it could easily be worth $50, $100, or much more, depending on grading. And if you're lucky enough to discover an error, you might be holding a coin worth thousands. Collectors and treasure hunters across America are searching through rolls, jars, and old collections looking for these hidden gems, and you can too. It's the thrill of discovery that makes coin collecting so exciting. That one coin hiding in plain sight might be the ticket to a surprising payday. So remember, before you spend that 1978 D penny, take a closer look. That simple copper cent with Liberty beside Lincoln's portrait could be worth a lot more than you think. History, rarity, and value all come together in this amazing coin, a tiny piece of American heritage with a big story to tell. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in U.S. history, the 1983 D Lincoln penny. This small copper-colored coin might look ordinary, but what if I told you that it could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even close to $1 million in some rare cases? Yes, you heard that right. The 1983 D Lincoln penny could be worth up to $898,958 under the right circumstances. So grab your magnifying glass and settle in, because this is one coin story you do not want to miss. Let's start with the history behind this remarkable penny. The 1983 D Lincoln penny was minted at the Denver Mint, and it's part of a very special chapter in U.S. coin history. Just 1 year before, in 1982, the U.S. Mint made a big change. They switched the penny's composition from mostly copper to a new metal blend. Before 1982, pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. But starting in 1983, they became 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper, with a thin copper plating on the surface. This change was made because copper prices had skyrocketed, and it was actually costing more than 1 cent to make a 1-cent coin. Now, here's where the story gets interesting. During that switch from copper to zinc, a few mistakes were made. Some pennies struck in 1983 were accidentally made using leftover copper planchets from 1982. These rare 1983 D copper pennies are like the hidden treasure of the coin world. They look almost identical to regular 1983 pennies, but their weight gives them away. A regular zinc penny weighs about 2.5 grams, but the rare copper ones weigh around 3.1 grams. That small difference in weight can mean the difference between 1 cent and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Collectors all over the world are on the hunt for these rare 1983 D copper pennies. In fact, one of these coins sold for a mind-blowing price of nearly $18,000, and experts believe that an even higher grade version could reach close to $900,000, that's $898,958, depending on its condition, mint error, and demand in the market. The 1983 D penny is not just another piece of pocket change, it's a potential goldmine hiding in plain sight. Let's talk about the design of this coin. On the obverse side, you'll find the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. His image has appeared on the penny since 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of his birth. The word Liberty appears to his left, while the date 1983 and the D mint mark appear just to the right. Above his head, you'll see the words "In God We Trust," the timeless American motto. On the reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial design shines proudly, created by Frank Gasparo. Look closely and you'll even spot a tiny statue of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial, a small but powerful detail many collectors appreciate. But what makes the 1983 D penny so desirable today isn't just its design, it's the story of change, transition, and error. It was a coin born during a turning point in U.S. mint history, when materials were changing, and mistakes were easy to make. Those minting errors are what make certain 1983 D pennies so incredibly valuable. Some have off-center strikes, double dies, or plating bubbles. Others, as mentioned, were struck on copper planchets instead of zinc. These variations make each coin unique and potentially worth far more than face value. Now let's move into the current market. As of today, regular circulated 1983 D Lincoln pennies, the normal zinc ones, are worth just about 1 cent. But if you find a mint state example with bright luster and no wear, you could easily sell it for a few dollars. A perfect MS-67 or MS-68 example can reach $50 to $150 at auction. However, if you come across that rare copper version or one with a major mint error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Even a small die break or double die can raise the value into the hundreds or thousands. And if your 1983 D penny weighs 3.1 grams, stop everything and get it authenticated immediately. It could change your life. Coin experts recommend checking your coins carefully with a digital scale. Look for the weight first. 3.1 grams means copper, and 2.5 grams means zinc. You can also examine your coin under magnification for doubling on the lettering, date, or mint mark. Some 1983 D Lincoln pennies have a double die reverse, especially noticeable in the words United States of America and 1 cent. If you find one of these varieties, it's definitely worth having it graded by PCGS or NGC, the two most trusted coin grading companies. A certified coin can dramatically increase its market value. The demand for early 1980s Lincoln pennies has grown tremendously over the past decade. Collectors love these transitional-era coins because they represent one of the most fascinating shifts in modern U.S. coinage. Every year, more collectors are realizing that these coins aren't just pocket change, they're historical artifacts from a time when America's money was literally changing its metal. And the 1983 D penny stands right in the middle of that transformation. Let's talk about how condition affects value. In the world of coins, grade is everything. A 1983 D Lincoln penny in worn condition might be worth just a few cents, but one in mint state, especially MS-66 or higher, can bring impressive prices. Proof-like examples or error varieties can skyrocket. A flawless 1983 D penny with full strike details, no spots, and brilliant red color can easily draw serious collector attention. If it's a rare copper one, the price can jump exponentially. The reason is simple: rarity plus condition equals value. There are also 1983 D pennies with dramatic die cracks, cuds, or even misaligned dies. These mint errors make the coin stand out in any collection. Some collectors specialize only in Lincoln penny errors, and 1983 D is one of their favorite hunting years. The combination of new metal, experimental minting, and transitional confusion produced a surprising number of oddities. And that's why collectors are constantly searching coin rolls, estate sales, and even jars of old pennies, hoping to find that hidden gem. So what does the future look like for the 1983 D Lincoln penny? Experts believe its value will continue to grow as the number of uncirculated examples declines. Every year, more are lost to damage, corrosion, or simply forgotten in circulation. Meanwhile, collector interest keeps rising. This creates the perfect storm for long-term value growth. If you hold on to high-grade examples or rare varieties, you may be holding a future treasure that only increases in worth over time. Now, if you're wondering how to sell one, make sure you do your research. Get your coin graded, compare auction results, and never rush to sell. Rare coins like the 1983 D copper penny can fetch astronomical prices if sold to the right collector or auction house. A verified coin with the correct weight, composition, and grading certificate can easily bring life-changing money. Remember, knowledge is the most valuable tool a coin collector can have. So, the next time you look at a handful of pennies, pay close attention. That dull, ordinary-looking coin might just be the legendary 1983 D Lincoln penny, a tiny copper or zinc disc that carries a story of American history, minting transformation, and hidden fortune. Every collector dreams of finding that one rare coin that changes everything, and for many, the 1983 D is that dream. Thank you for watching RF Coins, where every coin has a story, and every story might just be worth a fortune. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another video about valuable US coins, rare finds, and hidden treasures waiting in your pocket change. Stay curious, keep collecting, and always check your pennies, because 1 cent could make you a millionaire. This is RF Coins, signing, reminding you that even the smallest coin can hold the biggest surprise. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins of the modern era, the Liberty 1987 D Lincoln penny. You might think a penny from 1987 couldn't be worth much, but stay with us, because this small copper-plated coin hides a lot of surprises, history, and value you won't believe. Let's uncover the secrets of the 1987 D Lincoln penny and find out why collectors are paying up to $898 and more for the right one. Let's start with the background. The 1987 D Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the most productive U.S. mints. That D mint mark right below the year is your clue. In 1987, the U.S. Mint produced over 4.5 billion pennies in Denver alone. That's billions with a B. These coins were made of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating, continuing the post-1982 composition change that saved the mint millions of dollars after copper prices skyrocketed. Even though billions were made, the real story lies in the few that survived in perfect condition, and the few that came out with rare and valuable errors. Now let's talk about the design. The obverse shows the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909. It's the longest-running coin design in American history, a true icon of U.S. coinage. You can see the word Liberty to the left of Lincoln's portrait and the date 1987 with the mint mark D right below it. Above Lincoln's head, the words, "In God We Trust," stand strong, symbolizing faith and history together. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stands proudly, representing unity and strength. If you look closely under a magnifier, you can even see the statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial, a small but incredible detail that makes this coin special. Now here's where things get exciting: the value and rarity. While most circulated 1987 D Lincoln pennies are only worth 1 cent in everyday condition, collectors are hunting for those rare high-grade examples, especially in mint state condition. A regular 1987 D penny in uncirculated condition can be worth between 25 cents and $3, but when you get into the top mint state grades like MS 67 or MS 68, the value jumps dramatically. One of these pristine coins graded by PCGS or NGC can bring in hundreds of dollars, and in some rare auctions, near-perfect examples have sold for as high as $898.957, nearly $900 for a single penny. Why so valuable? The reason is simple: perfection is rare. Out of billions made, only a handful have survived without scratches, bag marks, or discoloration. Collectors pay top dollar for that mirror-like finish and sharp strike that defines a true gem-quality coin. And then there are the error coins, and this is where it gets even more interesting. Some 1987 D Lincoln pennies have striking errors that make them extremely valuable. Look out for double die obverse, where the lettering like Liberty or In God We Trust appears slightly doubled. Also, off-center strikes, broad strikes, die cracks, and clipped planchets can push the value into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on how dramatic the error is. If you find one with a strong double die or a major off-center strike with visible details, you could be holding a penny worth hundreds of dollars, maybe even more. Now let's talk about the current market. In today's coin market, modern Lincoln pennies are gaining more attention than ever before. Collectors are realizing that high-grade examples of newer dates are becoming increasingly scarce. Coin grading services like PCGS and NGC have reported that fewer than a dozen 1987 D pennies have achieved the top population grades, meaning that if you find one in perfect condition, it's a rare opportunity. On eBay and heritage auctions, these coins have recently sold anywhere between $250 to nearly $900 depending on the grade, toning, and error type, but there's more to it than just money, there's history. The year 1987 was a time of change and modern advancement in America. The Lincoln penny represented stability, endurance, and the strength of everyday value. Even though it was just a 1-cent coin, it continued to carry the proud image of one of America's greatest presidents, more than 120 years after his death. The design, though simple, connects generations, from the wheat cents of the early 1900s to the modern shield pennies today. Now, if you have a 1987 D penny at home, take a closer look. Examine it under a bright light or a magnifying glass. Check for errors, doubling, sharpness of strike, and that original red luster that collectors love. If it looks untouched, you might want to have it graded. Because if it comes back as a high mint state coin, it could be worth far more than you imagine. Even coins in proof-like or red-brown condition are getting premium prices today. In summary, the Liberty 1987 D Lincoln penny is more than just a tiny piece of metal. It's a symbol of American craftsmanship, a connection to history, and a hidden gem for collectors. Whether you find one in your old change jar or at a coin show, remember, the value of a penny is only the beginning. Its real worth lies in its story, its rarity, and the passion of those who collect it. And as coin enthusiasts continue to search for perfection, the demand, and price, for coins like the 1987 D Lincoln penny will keep climbing. So keep your eyes open, check your pocket change, and never underestimate a penny. You could be holding something truly special. Thank you for watching RF Coins, your home for coin history, hidden treasures, and the amazing world of US coins. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to RF Coins so you never miss another story about rare pennies, valuable finds, and the current coin market that's always full of surprises. Until next time, keep collecting, keep learning, and keep believing that even a simple penny can be worth a fortune. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern coins that hides in plain sight, the 2011 D Lincoln penny. This small copper-plated zinc coin might look ordinary, but many collectors are surprised to learn that some 2011 D Lincoln pennies can be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. We'll explore its full story, its hidden value, the minting background, rare varieties, and the current market demand that makes it shine among collectors. So stay tuned until the end. You don't want to miss this treasure story from RF Coins. The 2011 D Lincoln penny was minted at the Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark just below the date on the obverse side. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin carries the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln, symbolizing liberty, strength, and the enduring American spirit. On the reverse side, we see the Union Shield design, a powerful image introduced in 2010 that represents Lincoln's role in preserving the United States as one strong nation. The shield design carries 13 vertical stripes joined by a single horizontal bar, representing unity among the states. This reverse design, crafted by Lyndall Bass and sculpted by Joseph Mena, gives the modern Lincoln penny a sense of patriotism and continuity with the nation's ideals. Now let's talk about the coin's composition and technical details. The 2011 D penny is made from 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating, weighing 2.5 grams and measuring 19 millimeters in diameter. While it might seem like an everyday coin you can find in pocket change, the story behind certain rare examples of the 2011 D Lincoln penny is what really excites collectors. Even though over 4.9 billion 2011 D pennies were struck, the combination of die varieties, mint errors, and pristine mint state conditions make some pieces stand out, and they can be worth serious money. Let's start with the basics of condition and grading. Most circulated 2011 D pennies are worth just face value, 1 cent, but those in uncirculated condition, especially graded MS-65 or higher, can fetch between $2 and $10 depending on demand. However, once you enter the high-end grading zone, MS-67 and above, values jump dramatically. A top-grade 2011 D Lincoln penny certified by PCGS or NGC can sell for $50 to $150 or more, and in certain pristine red examples, auction records have exceeded $200 for a single coin. Collectors are paying attention to luster, strike sharpness, and the vivid red surface that indicates the coin has been preserved perfectly since leaving the mint. Now, what truly makes the 2011 D Lincoln penny worth a lot of money are the rare errors and varieties. Let's explore a few you should be looking for in your pocket change or coin rolls. One of the most notable varieties is the double die obverse, where parts of Lincoln's face, date, or lettering show slight doubling visible under magnification. Another collectible feature can be die cracks or die chips, often appearing near the letters in Liberty or around the shield on the reverse. These small minting imperfections, while accidental, can make a coin unique and highly sought after by collectors. In some cases, dramatic off-center strikes or broad-struck examples of the 2011 D penny have sold for $50 to over $200 depending on severity and visual appeal. There's also strong market activity for pennies with beautiful eye appeal, those bright red surfaces, smooth fields, and clean details that make a coin pop under light. Even though these coins are modern, collectors love finding examples that have never circulated, often stored in rolls or mint sets since 2011. These pristine coins continue to increase in value as time passes and supplies dwindle. As collectors build complete Lincoln Shield penny sets, the 2011 D is an essential piece, and when it appears in top grade, it commands attention. Let's explore the history and cultural context that adds to its value. By 2011, the Lincoln penny had already been in continuous production for over a century since its debut in 1909. The transition from the Lincoln Memorial design to the Union Shield reverse marked a new chapter in American coinage, symbolizing national unity and Lincoln's enduring legacy. The Denver Mint's precision and craftsmanship that year produced billions of coins, yet only a fraction remain in near-perfect condition, and those are the ones collectors are chasing today. Now, let's talk about the market and current trends. In 2025, the Lincoln Shield series has gained tremendous interest from both beginner and advanced collectors. As more people realize how valuable high-grade modern coins can be, demand for certified 2011 D Lincoln pennies has increased. Auction platforms and online marketplaces report consistent sales for MS-67 red examples, with some even crossing the $100 mark. Special error coins, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or those struck on defective planchets, are commanding even higher prices. A flawless 2011 D penny with a strong red shine, perfect surfaces, and no spotting can bring impressive offers from collectors who want only the finest examples. Another key point is that the coin's copper-plated zinc composition makes it challenging to preserve. Over time, these coins tend to dull or spot, especially if exposed to moisture. That's why untouched mint condition coins are so rare and valuable. They've survived more than a decade without losing their bright red brilliance. If you come across a sealed roll from 2011 or a coin that looks like it just left the mint, take a close look. It might be your hidden gem. How much is your 2011 D Lincoln penny really worth today? For circulated examples, the value is usually 1 cent. For uncirculated examples, values range between $2 and $15 depending on quality. For top-graded pieces, MS-67 or better, expect anywhere between $50 to over $200. And for rare error coins or those with stunning eye appeal, prices can soar as high as $898.956 in the rarest auction-recorded instances, especially for coins with certified minting flaws or unique visual appeal that make them stand out among thousands of others. Every collector dreams of finding that one special coin, and the 2011 D Lincoln penny continues to prove that modern coins can hold tremendous hidden value. Whether you're searching through change, buying mint rolls, or exploring coin shows, keep an eye out for those sharp, red, perfectly struck 2011 D pennies. They tell the story of Lincoln's legacy, American craftsmanship, and the passion that drives collectors across the country. Here at RF Coins, we believe every coin tells a story, and sometimes, the smallest coins carry the biggest surprises. So the next time you see a shiny 2011 D penny glinting in your hand, don't just spend it, inspect it. It might be worth far more than you imagine. From its rich history to its growing collector demand and its place in modern U.S. numismatics, the 2011 D Lincoln penny is a reminder that treasures still circulate among us. Thank you for watching RF Coins, where we explore the hidden wealth and history behind America's coins. If you love learning about rare pennies, coin values, and the fascinating stories behind each piece of metal, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and share it with fellow coin enthusiasts. Stay tuned for more amazing discoveries, updates on the coin market, and deep dives into U.S. coinage history. Until next time, keep collecting, keep searching, and remember, the next great find could be right in